What is going on, everybody? D Style Boxing here. Hey, make sure you throw a jab at the like button, share the content, all that good stuff. Hey, man, was it? A lot we could talk about right now. A lot we could talk about. Shout out to A Rod on here. Um, in the chat it says saludos. How's it going, bro? Ah, man. So where can I start with this? So, first of all, let me give a shout out to Blood Boxing. Did a live stream today. So, for those that don't know, because for some reason I keep seeing people saying things like, "Damn, Blood, you're still around." I'm like, "Well, yeah, like, he is just Blood Boxing." Maybe because he changed his name to Spreadsheet or something like that before, whatever it is, but he's around. All right. Um, and I want to give him a shout out because of this, man. Look, a lot of people want to be the place to be, like right now we're having like a renaissance, right? A revival, I should say, of like the times when like Google Hangouts, like at first people would come on live and then you would see the large panels, like the big Google panel hangout. So this is nothing new. A lot of this has been going on for or we had something like this like in 2000, like mid 2015, and it that trend stayed to like 2016, and then like people went on with their own thing, and then as soon as Hangouts fell through, of course, StreamYard kind of became the new thing, and now we have like a revival of that, right? Um, and that's what we're seeing right now. But with everyone doing it, everybody wants to be the spot. Everybody wants to be the place. So I'm here, but the reality is, many of y'all just got too many conflicts going on. All right? You're beefing with this guy and that guy, or you're beefing with this hashtag or that hashtag, and it's got too many conflicts of interest going on. Well, blood boxing, you don't have the hashtag for the protection in blood boxing streams. You just don't. Nobody does. It don't matter who the hell you are. Doesn't matter what hashtag you represent. And I like it. A lot of people show up, and I think if there's the right person for it, it is him. All right. Anybody can show up. Anybody can show up for those. Anybody. I'll pop up. Sometimes I stay a while. Sometimes I leave right away to say what I want to say. But I think it's great, man. You see people from all hashtags, you see people from all walks of life, you see opinions from everywhere that vary, and they're all there and they're all conversating. And I like it. Right? Unless you want to get dragon styled, you better be careful when I show up now. All right? It's easy for me to invite people over here. I control everything. I have no control over there. So I'm just saying, man. But most importantly, it's very entertaining. And I got to tell you, the guy that stole the show. By the way, a lot of people gave a lot of great intake, a lot of great knowledge on there. You know what I mean? A lot of different stuff. But for me, what took the cake was the fight doctor. Okay, let me just. Yo, I had already jumped off, right? I had already jumped off. I made my point, right? The fight doctor. What's going on, Jose Mendoza? D-Town, Texas, he's at. A lot going on with Blood Live. Lots to talk about today, Rod. Absolutely. And I'll probably do some of these like post thoughts for Blood's lives just to kind of, keep it going here. I want to motivate Blood to keep doing it. You know what I mean? But check it out. Check it out. You don't need the motivation anyway, but check it out. Right? The fight doctor. Let me tell you something. All right? It's been a while since someone made me spit out my water in the middle of listening to some. Fight doctor made me spit out my water. Like, I'm not even going to lie to you. Right? I'm being honest right now. All right? Look, man. I was watching the stream, listening, that is, to the stream. I had already jumped off. My ass already jumped off. Fantasy football team. I'm watching football, but I'm listening to the show. Right? A lot of great people in the panel, by the way, but the fight doctor, broke it down. He broke this shit down. All right? The fight doctor. Man, he came out saying, the Tyson Jones is a disgrace to boxing. Boxing should be ashamed of itself. That it's giving us Roy Jones versus Tyson, but we can't get the best fighting the best in our sport. Now, let me first say this. And I said this on the live, but I'll say it again. Are we getting all the fights we want? No, we're not. But so we're getting some of them, and we're getting pretty good fights. Like, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as people make it seem. All right. Is it as good as it should be? No. But it's still not that horrible, right? Are we in the golden age? No. But it's not that bad. Okay. But anyway. Mike Tyson against Roy Jones. It's just not that serious. Why are people taking it so serious? What's going on, retro boxing and documentaries? I told you guys, don't take it serious. First of all, the production value was really, really good, by the way. That's number one. I think the commentating team having Snoop Dogg worked, because, again, man, can everybody lighten up? Can we just lighten the fuck up? We weren't supposed to take it that serious. All right? So, anyway, I brought up the first point to fight the. I said, look, man. Jack Johnson had an exhibition at the age of 67. Okay? 67. Dude, 67. Have you seen 67-year-olds? I see them all the time at Sam's Club when I go like twice, like every 2 months or something. I see them all the time. Like, dude. Wholesale, people. wholesale. But have you seen? Have you seen 67-year-olds like just doing shit? If you want to know what 67-year-olds, just ask Blood. What's the life of a 67? But in all seriousness, look, okay. Jack Johnson had an exhibition. That's what he did. Fight Doctor, but Fight Doctor had an answer though. He said, "This is what he told me." And I believe he said this with a straight face to me, right? He said, "But there was no pay-per-view back then." Like if that means anything, there was pay-per-view. You had to pay to view it. Okay? What do you mean? They were selling tickets to that. And pay-per-view, as far as the broadcast, that didn't exist back then. It didn't exist. It wasn't a thing. What does that even mean? Well, like what? How? Like you're telling me right now that if Tyson Jones happened, but they didn't put it on pay-per-view, and these motherfuckers did this for free, right? That it would be okay, but them making money out of it is a bad thing, right? Andrew Charles, how's it going? Mr. Boxing Today 2, Retro Boxing. That's what he told. He said it with a straight face, but there was no pay-per-view back then. Like, what? So what if there was no pay-per-view? He was 67. Dude, he was literally like 12 years older than Mike is right now. Could you imagine a 67-year-old right now getting in an exhibition? They want to shut up about it. Like here's my answer to everybody worried about their health and all that. Of course, I'm worried as well. But should we ban guys at age of 50, 55 from having exhibitions? The answer is no. The answer is no. I believe in liberty. I believe in freedom. I believe in all that. I'm not trying to give you the fucking speech from Rocky Balboa. I'm not. Okay? Now, the rules we have, and we should do pre-fight tests and all that, obviously. Okay? We should match him up with other old dudes. You know what I mean? We shouldn't put a 55-year-old in there with fucking, an old-ass motherfucker. We shouldn't do that. With a young dude. Like, you know what I mean? We shouldn't do that. But at the end of the day, Fight Doctor said, no, but that one wasn't on pay-per-view. That was his answer to me. With a straight face, that was his answer to me. Come on. He even told me to wait, too. Whoa, wait up. Don't go. Hold on. Whoa. Like he was about to like drop a bomb on me or something. So I waited. And I waited. And he blew. But he did not tear the house down at all. I live in a fucking house of bricks. Okay? Come on. It wasn't paper. Come on. So anyways, somewhere down the line, shout out to Mr. Boxing Today 2. Mr. Boxing Today 2 is making a very relevant, but not that big of a deal point. Like it wasn't even that big of a deal. Like everybody was kind of ready to move on, right? That's the sense I got. Yeah, just it's a little small point about Vladimir Klitschko and how and talking about styles and how in different eras certain guys kind of influence future generations on how to fight, and he's dropping examples, right? And he's talking about how Klitschko, he dominated for a long time. And so now, regardless of what you think of the era, so now you see guys trying to jab, grab, jab, cross, you know what I mean? Upright position like that, using their height. We're really simple, like not that big of a deal. Kind of like a very well kind of put explanation. And it's just not that big of a deal. It's not. Like, I don't see a reason for anybody to get mad about that. I don't see why anybody should be like, no! This guy's like, no, Klitschko wasn't shit. All right? In a nutshell, he was arguing that Klitschko wasn't shit. All right? That's what he was saying in a nutshell, that Klitschko didn't do anything. Okay? And that's what started all this. But Klitschko was never that guy. Like, everybody knows. Come on, man. Everybody knows Klitschko was the man. Everybody knows this. Come on. Let's stop the revisionist history. We know this. All right? He didn't fight his brother because it's his brother. All right? And then his brother retired. And Mr. Boxing, like, he explained all this. That's the frustrating part. He already acknowledged that Areola and fucking Stavern fought for a vacant title, like you know what I mean, for the WBC title. But Fight Doctor, he's talking about the history of the sport. Oh no, I know my history. I know my history. He said, I'm gonna go by 100 years of boxing. This is what he said, right? He said, he said, hold on. He said, okay? He said, there's one world, so there should be one champion. That's what he said, right? And then he said, who gives these sanctioning bodies authority on who the champion should be, he said. But Fight Doctor also said that Klitschko wasn't a man because he didn't have the WBC strap. One moment, who the fuck's the WBC to tell us who was the champion? Another moment, Klitschko didn't prove shit because he never got the WBC strap. Which one is it? It can't be both. It can't be both. Like, I can't. It can't be both. Like, that's impossible. We can't. It can't. It just can't. And then he's talking about, like, dude, he says he knows his history, but if you did, you would know that there was the NABA, okay, or the NBA. I'm sorry, NBA, which later turned into WBC. You have the New York Athletic Commission Championship, which later evolved into the WBC. All right. Like, you would have known that, but all you got to do is listen. Just got to listen to people. That's it. It's okay to listen sometimes, right? Then he dropped the mother of all bombs on everybody, right? Dude, like, I swear to God, he thought he had a checkmate, right? Like, he paused for a second. He demanded a moment of silence from everybody. Like, hold on. Let me ask you guys one question. And I swear to God, I sat there, right? Took a sip out of my water. And I said, oh shit, here comes Fight Doctor with some. Like, he's been holding some. You know what I mean? He's been holding to a fact that's going to shock everybody. You know what I mean? He's about to send shockwaves. He's about to school Mr. Boxing Today too, and Monty Brown, everybody else that was on the panel, right? Big Brian, he was about to school everybody. Blood Box, he was about to just drop the mother of all bombs. MOB. Mother of all, he's about to drop it. He literally demanded a moment for everybody to shut up, right? Let me ask you all a question. And it was like those movies, those old westerns, Do, do, do. And the whole chat was quiet. The world stopped. Everybody just stopped what they were doing. You know what I mean? Everybody was just like waiting for like, what's the doctor about to drop? You know what I mean? We were waiting for that. But we're like, oh, she's about to drop some shit, And with a very serious tone, he says, While everyone's anticipating what he's going to say, he says the infamous, "How many worlds are there?" That's what he said. That's it. How many worlds are there? Like, what is this? Yes, a bunch of grown ass men. How many worlds there are? How many worlds are there? Hey, fight doctor. You thought you had everybody, huh? Like you thought that was like a checkmate right there? Like that was you owning everybody, like in your mind? Like, come on now. Come on now, fight doctor. How many worlds are there? Okay. I guess. Oh man. But hey. But no, check it out, man. I don't, just like Mr. Boxer today too said, I don't like there being like first let me answer the question. Okay, of course, we all know there's one world that we know of, obviously. There's one planet Earth, all right? It is a sphere, just so everybody knows, okay? However, men have always decided, and have always made um, determinations on who is the champion based on what, right? Whether objectively or subjectively speaking, have determined, hey, this guy's the best, this guy's the best. They should fight each other, and the winner is the champion, right? Like the fact that this one world doesn't really mean anything, right? That's not okay. This one world, like, well, so there's always been one world. We all kind of agree that in every division there's the man, and then there's title holders. We kind of all kind of know that. However, we disagree with who the man is all the time. Right? There's no consensus at all, especially not now with all the championships. So that's not how we determine a champion. Like asking how many worlds there are doesn't mean anything. That doesn't solve anything. I mean, I could use that same argument. How many worlds are there? One. Okay. In the world, who was the best heavyweight when Vladimir Klitschko was on top, especially when his brother vacated the title? Everybody knows it was Vladimir. Everybody knows he was the best in the world, in the one world that we know. And with all due respect to Fight Doctor, if the sanctioning bodies don't hold any weight, and who gives a shit what they say, they don't get to determine who the champ is, then how can you use those same sanctioning belts or Vladimir not having every single one of them as proof that he wasn't the man? I mean, come on. Come on now. That's all I'm saying. Joe Lopez 40 ounce. Here, it was funny though. Okay, when you ask how many worlds there are. Okay, how many worlds are there? Well, the answer is one. Everybody knows the answer to that question, but that's not here nor there. Like it doesn't matter. I get what Fight Doctor was trying to do. He was trying to state the obvious, right? So that's a tactic, right? You state an obvious thing, so when you say the next thing and phrase it in the same exact way, it comes off as if both things are obvious, but that's not the way it works, right? That's a sales tactic too, right? You get somebody to keep saying yes, and then when you finally ask them, you do your pitch, they're more likely to say yes. It doesn't matter to me, though. He may not have finished his point, but he had plenty of time to articulate what he was trying to say, and he was contradicting himself over and over again, depending on the situation and the circumstance. One moment, the sanctioning bodies hold no weight. Another moment, they do if a certain fighter doesn't have all the belts. If they don't hold any weight, then why does it matter that Vladimir Klitschko didn't have the WBC strap? In this one world. Why does that matter? It doesn't matter. All right? That's what I wanted to say about that. I want to talk about this Roy Jones Jr. Mike Tyson fight. I got to tell you guys, I feel, okay? I feel, and this may shock a lot of you, but I want you to hear me out. I feel that Roy Jones deserved a nod. I do. And I know that's going to shock a lot of you. No! Tyson won! First of all, I want you guys to listen to me. All right? This was not a sanctioned fight. It wasn't. This was not a sanctioned fight. So so spare me your 4 criterias and all that, okay? Ring generalship, effective aggressiveness, defense, clean punches, all that. Just spare me all that. Spare me all of it. But these style, no. You could spare me all that shit. There's no rule at all in this fight that said you have to score based on that criteria. I'm very consistent when I've said, look, we can't go by our feeling. We got to go by, the criteria when we talk about boxing fights. Let me read this comment really quick. It does matter, but to pretend like Vlad Vitaly didn't rule the division during the reign is a stretch. I understand most American fans don't like that, but it's true. It is true. And your point stands. Like, effectiveness and how to win matters. And you made a lot of good points. A lot of these guys, they're kind of using that Klitschko, a hybrid of it. They're not fighting exactly like Klitschko, but they're using a lot of the same tactics. And to be honest with you, like Emmanuel kind of changed the way even Lennox Lewis boxed. Now, Lennox would kind of rough up guys a little bit more than, he was more of a fighter, than Vladimir, stuff like that. But a lot of those, roughhouse tactics, holding guys, leaning on them, all that stuff, man. The jab, and, people criticize, Lewis for being quote unquote boring, for a while too. So when people see, hey, this works, you could get mad all you want, but if you keep winning in boxing, you keep getting purses and money. Like, nobody remembers the guys that get knocked out early in their career and they go anywhere. You know what I mean? Maybe if Price followed that blueprint to the T, he might have gotten a little further in his career. Who knows? Like, if Price would have fought like that, would people be calling him boring and I hate watching this guy fight? Probably. But what if it worked, and what if he kept winning? He would have won more money. He would have been more relevant, right? So, well, that's it. Soup was a real winner. Hear me out, guys. So, throughout boxing history, there's been different ways of judging fights. Now, people need to understand, when the sport of boxing started, right? This is before there was even any weight classes, when weight classes was not a thing, okay? Many times they would negotiate these fights, all right? Once weight classes started to get implemented, there's fights on record where agreements would be said, right? The agreement would be, look, you're the lightweight, I'm the middleweight. We're going to box for, whatever it is, 10 rounds, 20 rounds, whatever the case is. If I can't knock you out, if you're still standing at the end of this fight, you win. Right? That's how they decided it. Like they didn't decide on judges and stuff like that, right? I mean, that kind of became a thing later. Okay. Before we didn't even have judges. Like this sport was not designed when it was first created. It wasn't even designed to have judges, right? Like these guys kept fighting till one guy got knocked out. There was a time where rounds were not necessarily 3 minutes. They were until a guy was knocked down. Okay. And that was at the end of a round. And if he got back up, then they started round two, right? So like the sport as a whole has evolved. Now, in the last couple of decades, we've agreed under the 4 criteria of scoring, okay, that I described earlier, and the 10-point must system, right? That's what we do in a sanctioned fight. You don't have to judge it that way in an exhibition, right? Now, people don't have to like that. You don't have to like that stance, but that's just the truth. You can choose to score it that way if you want, but you don't have to score it that way in an exhibition. I just wanted to make sure people understand, right? So that's number one. Number two. Roy Jones Jr. agreed to hard sparring. And from my understanding, agreed to a 6-round fight. They told him 6 rounds. They told him hard sparring. And he's going in there against Iron Mike Tyson. Dude, I mean, last second they switched it on him, man. Last second they switched it on Roy. Last second they said, nah, it's 8 rounds. Psych! 8 rounds. Like, whoa. The bell rings, and Mike Tyson comes out like a bat out of hell, bro. He's trying to knock out Roy Jones. Catch him with a body shot. He's swinging like crazy, like a madman and shit. Whoa. Roy didn't agree to that. That wasn't what we're here to judge. We're here to judge hard sparring. These guys are supposed to, be having a sparring match, and we're supposed to score that. Mike Tyson decided, I'm going to come out and just fight. Rah! You know what I mean? Now, here's what I'll say. Mike Tyson couldn't knock out Roy Jones Jr. Okay? So with me saying that, do you really believe that Mike Tyson was landing flush on Roy Jones over and over again? Do you really believe that? Do you really believe that even with the 12-ounce gloves? I own a pair of 12-ounce gloves. That for Mike Tyson is nothing. Okay, let me just tell you that right now. Do you really believe that Antonio Tarver or Glenn Johnson, Green, that Russian cat? Do you believe they hit harder than Mike Tyson? No. Roy was rolling away from those shots. He was circling away from Mike, taking away most of the steam, rolling away from those shots. Right? By the way, the uppercut of Mike Tyson, like I told you guys, non-existent. He can't duck low like that and throw uppercuts like that anymore. He just can't. All right? He can't throw combinations like he used to. Come on. I didn't see any of that. He was, one punch at a time, Mike. That's what he was. So was Roy, but so was Mike. Roy was popping a jab. Snoop wasn't making a big deal about his jabs to the body. Maybe he found those funny or whatever, but Mike would hit the gloves of Roy, and you would hear a loud pop. All right, you would hear something like this. Watch. You guys were hearing this. Right, that's what you were hearing. Like, oh my God, Tyson! Like, now that was a glove. I'm hitting the glove right now. This is my arm. That's my arm. This is my glove. It makes a louder noise when you hit the glove. All right, That's what you were hearing. He was blocking those shots upstairs. See, Roy Jones was doing a good job getting away from the power of Mike. He was hitting those gloves, hitting those arms, right? And then he was neutralizing Mike. I see what y'all haters are doing out there, by the way. All right? Y'all must have forgot how he neutralized Roy Jones Jr. All right? Y'all must have forgot. Everybody calling it clinching. Oh, he was holding too much. He was clinching too much. Okay, man, y'all a bunch of haters, bro. That's what you are. Right? That's what haters say. Those that keep it real, right, know that he was neutralizing Mike. Okay? He was neutralizing him, holding him on the inside, not allowing Mike to get his body shots off, right? Forcing Mike to throw arm punches to the body. You know what I mean? Maybe it did some damage, but those are arm punches. You know what I mean? He wasn't allowing Mike to get off on the inside. Then he would release Mike. You know what I mean? And then he just kept it away, kept popping his jab. He had a couple 1-2s, you know, and he was making Mike miss a lot, right? If he wasn't rolling away with a shot, you know, he was making Mike miss. Okay, and when Mike would finally get on the inside, boom, neutralize. You know what I mean? He was neutralizing Mike Tyson. Okay, when they got on the inside. You know what I mean? And that was tiring Mike out a little bit. Mike was now Roy took a big body shot early in the fight. Mike hit him with like he did Roy wrong, man. Okay, Mike and this whole thing, they did Roy wrong. Roy was ready for some sparring. You know what I mean? Roy was ready for an exhibition. Well, what did the Duke say to Ivan Drago's corner? This is an exhibition. You know what I mean? This is an exhibition. What are you doing? Duke came out and hit Roy with a huge body shot in the first round. That's the shot that hurt Roy. Then Roy, you know, made an adjustment. He's like, okay, you're going to fight like that. Then, of course, he's going to hold him. Of course, he's going to neutralize him because this dude's crazy. He doesn't understand what sparring is. Mike Tyson doesn't understand. This is only a sparring match, dude. Relax, bruh. He's only trying to, like, knock his head off and, you know what I mean? He hit him with a good hook in the first round, too. But that's where the damage to the body was done. After that, neutralized. You know what I mean? Of course, Mike got some shots off here and there. But so did Roy. You know what I mean? And I feel like Roy's shots were a little more straight, a little more clean, right? Now Roy was just sparring, so he wasn't trying to hurt Mike, but he was still landing those shots. And in an exhibition, you got to give him that credit for landing those punches, right? So as a judge, I'm going to use my judgment and say that given the fact that one guy was trying to have fun in there, right, and obeyed the agreed to rules of it being, you know, hard sparring, and one guy was taking it a little too serious, trying to knock heads off, and did not succeed at it on top of that, okay, I got to go with the guy that did a good job neutralizing Mike on the inside, rolling it away from the shots, you know, slowing Mike down. I got to go with that guy. I got to give that guy the nod, okay? That's who I got to go with. I got to give it to Roy. All right? I'm just saying. So, nah, man, he wasn't getting his body torn up, Mexico Nick. Come on, man. The body shot that hurt him was in the first round, bro. He fought the next 7 rounds dealing with that body shot because Mike was just being too serious, bro. Relax, dude. Oh, man. Tell Mike it's only smart like telling a lion. I just want to pet you. Now, credit Roy. Roy knew at that point, okay, I got to. People getting mad at Roy because he's holding. What do you want him to do? Well, you want Roy to exchange with Mike on the inside? Is that what you guys want to do? Like exchange hooks with Mike? Are you out of your mind? What? Why you go exchange hooks with Mike? See what happens. Right? Come on, Roy. Stop holding. Of course, you're going to it's neutralize. Right? It's neutralize when you like the fighter. It's holding when you don't like him. All right? That's right. Y'all must have forgot he neutralized Mike on the inside. You must have forgot. Yeah, y'all really believe Mike was landing flush upstairs and didn't knock him out? Like, do you really believe that? Go back and watch the fight, bro. Roy was doing a good job taking steam off those shots. Okay, I'm just saying. All right. Now I will say though, what's going on in Milcar? I'm just telling everybody how I feel. Roy Jones won the fight. Y'all must have forgot how he neutralized Mike Tyson on the inside. Y'all must have forgot. And they had the nerve to say he was 55 years old. He only made him look 55 years old. Y'all must have forgot. Okay? That's right. Y'all was saying he was back in all this when you saw that 8-second clip of him hitting the mitts. Now he's all old because Roy neutralized them on the inside, all right, and went the full 8 with them, right? Am I hearing that right? Yo, let's talk about Nate. What's his last name? What's Nate's last name? Look, man, a lot of people have and I was the same when I was young too, by the way. But you ever watch a boxing fight and two guys are like in mid range and they're literally like at puncher's distance and they're feinting, and they're like right there, right? Have you ever heard somebody say when you're watching a fight with them, just hit him, he's right there? You ever heard people say that? Well, that's because they don't understand the sport, right? They don't understand that the guy in front of them wants them to throw because then they're going to either parry, make a miss, bob and weave out of the way, slip the punch, whatever it is, and counter them, right? Because there's something about prize fighting, especially boxing, that people don't understand. People think it's really easy, like for whatever reason. I don't know why, but people think it's easy, right? This is a sport where about 8 boxers at average die every year. Every year. Now, granted, most of them are due to dehydration or mismatches, right? But not all of them. We lost Dadashev, and that was not a mismatch that was booked or anything. The corner, Buddy McGirt even stopped it, I believe, at a fair time, and he, unfortunately, he still passed away. This is a sport where guys end up in comas for a really, really long time. And I further understood that a lot of these actors and stuff like that really don't understand boxing. When I heard Nelly on First Take saying that he doesn't think Mayweather could hurt McGregor because, McGregor's used to fighting without the big puffy gloves, right? Then I really understood that these people really do not know anything about the sport. Like, people really, honestly, and I don't know why, underestimate just how dangerous the sport is. And maybe it's because culturally the sport's become more irrelevant. It's not really in the back of people's minds like that. So like it used to. So and I understand that to a degree, but people have forgotten how serious the sport is. And I have a different take than most people about this Nate Robinson fight. Thank you, Mr. Box, today. I have a different take. A lot of people are outraged about the fight. And look, I'm not happy that he got knocked out. I'm not one of the people celebrating or making fun of him. It comes with the territory, right? Sylvester Stallone said it very well. If you guys, by the way, I think the zone, pre-fight show that they did, like an hour show of Joshua versus Ruiz and the lead up to the second fight when they're talking about the first fight. I forget the name of it, but when Mike Tyson right at the beginning, he's like, David. David is such an accomplished fighter. He's won so many battles, David. But they just remember him about one guy. Goliath. Remember that one? right? Which I actually feel is a good intro, by the way. But Sylvester Stallone talks, and he's like, there's something about boxing. Like, there's just something about like there's nothing else like it in sports. Like one man standing over you, it's just one of the most humiliating things you can go through. You know, just laying down on the mat while one man stands over you victorious, and he says there's nothing like it. There really isn't. One fight, that's the name. Thank you, Mr. Boxing. Right? And and it's true. Like I don't really know. Like what I know. Like we live in a culture where people think like getting dunked on is like the worst thing that could happen. Like, oh my God, he's dead. Like a lot of kids that think like dead means somebody dunked on you. Just saw this dude get knocked the fuck out. And I think they realize, oh, this shit's for real. This shit ain't a game. It's not a game. Like it really isn't. The first time I went to a boxing gym, okay, let me tell you something, man. Just the workouts had me dying. I wasn't even allowed to spar for months. Okay, that's not like a thing that they allowed us to do. Okay, all boxing gyms are different, but like it's not like sparring. Sparring was out. Like, you know what I mean? I was like Balboa in part 6. Sparring is out. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you that I saw guys that looked really good in the gym. Like I'm talking like dominant and fucking dudes up and sparring. And then they would go, I would see them on ESPN2 get dominated by like a nobody. Like, you know what I mean? By a guy that got dominated on fucking Boxing After Dark. Like, holy shit, I thought that dude was the truth. What the fuck happened? Because there's really levels to this. Nate Robinson probably saw this shit on TV and said, this shit's easy. And I heard everybody, right? Oh, he's a super athlete and he's got to beat this YouTuber. Look, I don't know much about the Paul brothers, okay? Is that their last name, Paul? I don't know much about them. But just because someone's a YouTuber, like if they're taking boxing serious and training serious, that is a huge advantage over a Joe Schmo just walking into a ring. And yes, an athlete, a basketball NBA player, super athlete, quote unquote, is just a Joe Schmo going in there against a trained motherfucker. All right? Like all that, oh, I'm born to fight. Like all that sounds good. But there ain't no motherfucker that's ever won anything without training. Okay? Everyone needs to learn the sport about, just like you need to learn chess. You don't sit down with someone that knows how to play chess and just start moving the pieces and think you're going to win. Okay? No, it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. So the way I saw it was, yeah, this is some serious shit. This kid, yeah, he's only 2-0. He hasn't really fought anybody, right? But he, a professional fighter is training him. He's being like they're teaching him tricks of the trade, like things that took centuries to develop are being taught to him. When you teach somebody how to throw a proper jab, a right cross, you guys understand that took decade after decade to perfect. Like we weren't just born knowing how to do these things. Like boxers had to develop trial and error, and eventually these things evolve. That's how we know certain things work. We know what works, what doesn't work. So you have this basketball player going in there against someone who's being taught shit that took centuries to develop. I mean, that's what's happening. So of course he's going to go in there and get knocked the fuck out. Of course he's going to walk in there and like, literally just get blitzed by a nobody. You are disrespecting the sport of boxing if you believe you could just step in there and just like fuck dudes up. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. No, getting dunked on, while it is hilarious and I enjoy watching it, is not the worst thing that could happen to you in sports. The worst thing that could happen to you in sports is getting knocked the fuck out in a boxing match. Again, having the whole world watch it happen. Period. The only worst thing, honestly, is probably a kick to the head. Honest to God, that might be the worst thing that could top it off. But here's the thing. Here's the kicker, though. There's just something about doing it with the fist. There's just something about doing it with the fist and the fist only. There's just something about it that just it's I don't. There's just something about it. Seeing unseen said I've never been knocked out, but I've been stopped in the amateurs. Honestly, if I ain't ready, don't climb your ass in the ring. You might get fucked up. Absolutely. Shout out to Night to Aku and Seen Unseen, 2 members of the channel. I appreciate the support, guys. Shout out to you guys. My political stuff is on archive if you're interested. If not, it's all good. You made 500,000. Well, hey. Batista, you don't understand. He's a freak athlete. He's only 5'9". He's won 3 dunk contests. Like, what? So? Now, granted, I didn't know he was going to win. I didn't have a horse in the race. I was very honest. I said, I don't even know how to break down this fight. I don't know. I didn't know anything about it. Now I know he obviously didn't have any serious training. You could just tell. All right. I know some dudes here at the local Pavo Real that can knock him out. Like, honestly. Okay. So I think Juan Lascano could come out of retirement right now and like knock Nate in the first 10 seconds from what I saw. Right. Like, honestly, I can go get Roman over from Juarez and shit. He's like a flyweight. I think he'd knock him out. Honestly, I'm not even bullshitting. Right? So I'm just throwing that out there. You know what I mean? I get Pipino. Like he's almost like 55 or something. He'll knock out Nate and Paul. He'll knock them both out in the same night. Okay, like these are retired dudes. But like at the end of the day, like one guy was trained. Like BJ Flores is like he wasn't an upper echelon fighter, but he was a professional top 10 cruiserweight at one point. He's teaching this kid techniques that are tricks of the trade, and people they honestly devalue like what you're teaching somebody. You know what I mean? Like teaching somebody to throw a proper right cross is like not a joke. Like if you have a good jab and a proper right cross, you could put that dude in the ring with the dude that's not trained, and he'll beat him with that alone. Right? So like that's really important. So the way I saw it was, and a lot of people put it perfectly, like you don't play boxing. You don't. Okay? You could play a lot of things, but not boxing. Let me ask you a question. So, when WWE was in its heyday, right? Like, me and my cousins would like wrestle and like looking back, like some of the shit's like dangerous. They would get on top of the sofa and go for the Macho Man Randy Savage elbow drop. Obviously, that shit's looking back now. Maybe it's not a good example, but like maybe not all the theatrics of it, but like just the wrestling. You know what I mean? Like trying to pin the other guy down for the 3 count and stuff like that. Just wrestling. You know what I mean? If you just saw kids wrestling like in the grass, I would just say, oh, okay, it's kids being kids. You know what I mean? But if you see 2 kids throwing punches at each other, okay, and they're like clocking each other left and right, you're probably not going to say, oh, just kids being kids and walk away. Like, you're probably going to be like, whoa. Maybe if you're a stranger, you walk away, but if you know them, Like if they're your little cousins or something. You see them throwing punches at each other. And you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing? Oh, we're playing boxing. Like one has like a black eye, and like it's just not something you do. This ain't a joke, man. Now, maybe you do play boxing because, dude, I remember like, but we weren't going at it that serious though. Like we'll put on gloves when I was a kid, and we'll kind of like go at it and stuff. But like we weren't going at it like 100%. You know what I mean? We weren't acting like Mike Tyson. Like we were just like having fun with it. You know what I mean? You got suspended for you did a Stone Cold Stunner. God damn. But what I'm trying to say is, you don't play this fucking sport, man. All right. A lot of boxing gyms won't even let you fucking spar, dude. Like until they feel you're ready. All right. Like that's just the truth. You don't just play this sport. Nate Robinson, like they should have put like this is all they have to do. Honestly, this is all you have to do. You should have got a Nate Robinson. If I was Nate Robinson, I would have called like a really like a well-known boxer, give Crawford a call, somebody, all right, and be like, "Yo, I want you to spar with me. To spar with me one round. Just don't hurt me, and gauge where I'm at." Okay? They would have gauged where he's at and been like, "Bro, you don't know shit. What I don't know what the fuck you were doing right there. I have no fucking clue what the fuck that is, but I don't even know who the fuck taught you what. You shouldn't be getting no fucking ring. Period." Who gassed up Nate is what I want to know. Who gassed him up? Like, I honestly need to know who gassed up Nate Robinson. Who gassed him up? And who talked him into this? Who told him, nah, bro, you got to do this? Joe Lopez, I got to be honest, I think Chavez Jr. would hurt one of the Paul brothers really, really bad. I really do. I don't even like Chavez Jr., but it's the truth. He would hurt him, like, really bad. I'm being honest, guys. All right? What the fuck? Like, what was that? What was he doing? Like, I don't even know, like what were you thinking? I need to know, like, whoever gassed him up for this either got a piece of it or just don't like Nate. Like, it's like I just don't understand like how this happened. You don't play boxing, man. Have respect for the sport. All right? You're disrespecting the sport if you think it just come in and do some shit. Okay? It's no different than look, it's really simple, okay? If you get if you get Nate Robinson and you have Floyd Mayweather play basketball against him, what's gonna happen? He's gonna dunk it on Floyd, right? It's like he can't fuck with you in basketball, bro. You know, but you're gonna fuck with him in boxing. It's just the way it is. Okay. Well, obviously, you couldn't even get past this Logan. What the hell is this dude's name? Paul. It's not Logan Paul, but whatever his name is. You couldn't even beat the actual Paul, bro. You lost to the little brother. What's going on? Now, are these Paul brothers delusional? Yes. I mean, yet Logan Paul was saying he'll be ready for Anthony Joshua in like 2-3 years. Like, what? You'll be ready for who? Is there another Anthony Joshua that's like 1 in 15 in the sport? Like what? Because I know you're not talking about Anthony Joshua from England now. I know you're not talking about that Anthony Joshua. I know you're not talking about the WBA, IBF, you know, WBO champion. I know you're not talking about that guy. Man. Hey, Rod. Ah, man. I can't believe they did that to Nate, man. I just can't. I can't. Honestly, you want me to be honest? Like, this Paul guy's not even all that, bro. Honestly, honest to God, like I think Mario Lopez can knock out this guy. From what I see from Mario Lopez, like sparring, I think Mario Lopez knocked this kid out. Like, honestly, like, I think if Nate, like, first of all, Nate had to go to a boxing gym. You have to get him, get in form and do some actual sparring and kind of develop. But if you give him a year, I think he might have beaten this kid. Honestly, like real training, I think he would have beaten this kid. He didn't have any. You could just tell he didn't learn anything. Like I don't know what the fuck he was doing. He was lunging. It was bizarre. It was bizarre. Jake Paul. Okay, yeah, Jake will get knocked the fuck out by Mike Tyson. Okay, Mike will probably carry him though. All right, that's what I think. He couldn't even beat KSI. Like he could. Like, come on. But look, I'll tell you what this is doing. I know a lot of people don't like the fact, like, you have a lot of boxers salty as fuck, though. You know what I mean? You have a lot. You have Ishe Smith over there talking about, I can't believe this guy made more money than I ever made. Like, come on, bro. Like, at the end of the day, look, we need young kids to watch the sport of boxing. Okay, we just need young eyeballs looking at the sport. The day's gonna come. It's gonna come. We're like some journeyman boxer or some prospect or somebody's gonna knock Jake Paul the fuck out. Okay, and then he'll acquire that fan base or something, right? So they just, it's all right. But this monster, this is a Frankenstein that we fans created. All right. You guys created this monster for a year. I've been here for a long time. Mr. Boxing Today 2's been here. Blood's been here. Like, they'll tell you. Brian's been here. Look, Gano wasn't necessarily on YouTube, but he's been around boxing. You know what I mean? He knows. Look, all these years, right, where, hey, I want to see this guy fight that guy because they're both the best. No, but this guy doesn't bring anything to the table. What does he bring? He has no fans and A side, B side, and this guy look. He's got more Twitter followers and he's got more followers on Facebook, and he's more popular. So he calls the shots, and well, this is a monster you guys created. Now all of a sudden, like, oh no, but it's not fair though. He's a YouTuber, like. So, I mean, this is what you guys want, is a monster you created. Boxing fans created this monster. So now you have, like this is becoming real, guys. Like you have Ryan Garcia saying things like, I deserve more money because look at all the followers I have on social media and this, that, and the third. And like that's before they do anything in the ring. And you guys should check out, by the way, you go to my channel whenever you get a chance, if you haven't already. Ari the Rugged Man breaks the shit down like for real, for real. Ari the Rugged Man talks about this is a society thing. That's what it is. We live in a social media culture now. We live in a social media culture. You go viral on social media. That's the most valuable thing you can have. Ari, and he comes on right at the start, so you guys should check that out. It's on my homepage. It's some great stuff with Ari the Rugged Man on HCP. He breaks that shit down, and he explains to everybody why it is that you have this shit going on. why YouTubers are headlining cards and all this shit. These boxers, man, you got to start putting your name out there. Man, Muhammad Ali had Twitter, dude. Let me tell you something. Okay? If Muhammad, if the Louisville Lip had fucking, okay, Twitter, right? His timeline will be fire as he's watching Sonny Liston. Okay. As he's fighting Floyd Patterson. Like, God, look at Sonny Liston. He's too slow. And like, he'd be all over Twitter. Right? Like stalking the shit out of Sonny Liston. All right? Like, but there's a pandemic. They can't go to the fight. You got social media. Just go attack them right there. All right? Man, just get your name out there, man. It's not that hard, dude. You know? It's not that hard to tag Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, and then they'll get you on First Take. It's not that hard to say some fucking controversy. Like, everything is controversial nowadays. Everything. Right? Like, you can say anything nowadays and it's controversial. Right? Anything. Like, I think the men's restrooms for men. Oh my God! I can't believe you said that. Like, that's the thing. You can say anything to be controversial. Like, go do your thing. Stop bitching. Like, I can't believe this guy is getting paid, man. This is a disgrace. Well, people paid to see him. Like, well, what do you mean? It's not like a boxing fund where boxing fans put all their money in and then they disperse the money. Like, nah, this is a pay-per-view, and he was part of the pay-per-view, right? And it was viral. By the way, this event did some shit that no event's done, guys. On Twitter, the top 5, trending shit was this event. Tyson Jones didn't get out trended by a fucking YouTuber, right? You don't see them crying. But it was Tyson Jones. Nate was actually like number 3. Jake Paul was like number 4. I think Draw was number 3 or something like that, or number 2. Right? Different stuff was trending, and I think like another thing from this event was like 8 or 9. So like 6 of the top 10 trends were this event. To put it in perspective, during the Charlo fight, it made it as high as number 8. The Charlo pay-per-view made it up to 8. That's the highest it went. Tank did make it number 1 on Halloween, so it's kind of impressive, but didn't have the top 5. I honestly don't know of another event where the top 5 of all the trends in the U.S. were this event. An event. I don't know of another event like that. Maybe the Super Bowl, maybe. This was big. Like, a lot of people watched it. Okay? So I'm just saying. Anyways, guys, I've been on here for a while, man. I appreciate you guys that tuned in. I don't know if I'll come on tomorrow, maybe, but shout out to NYY Mex. He says, I got no problem with these YouTubers, celebrities getting in the ring. But I don't like it when they're fighting on undercards, major boxing events, and taking away attraction from prospects. But are they taking away, like in other words, if a prospect's on the undercard of one of these events and more people watch it, isn't that a good thing for that prospect? I'm just saying. So, but yeah, this is D-Style Boxing. Man, that's all I got, really. Peace.